Action for international heroes.
You break the rules and become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
Yo, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a Monday edition of TNI News. Let's start off with a little bit of news on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle front, this time from Playmates Toys. More product for the upcoming Mutant Mayhem movie. So today we've got a look at a new 6-pack that is coming, featuring the 4 turtles, along with an exclusive version of April O'Neil. My guess is we will see other versions of April O'Neil, but right now this seems to be the only way to get April. And then there's also going to be a Bebop figure that has some mutagen on him. So all 6 figures come in this special packaging that's made to look like a van. It's called the Ooze Cruisin Figures Pack. So as I've told you before, Playmates Toys says that the official on-shelf date for Mutant Mayhem products will be June 25th. You will probably start to see them slip out earlier than that. But again, this one, as far as I know of, will be available everywhere. I don't think it's a store exclusive. And again, at least for now, this looks like the best way if you want to get April from the new movie added to your collection. For you Street Fighter fans, I just wanted to share these updated images for the second wave of 1/12 scale figures from GIJoe Toys. So we've seen images for these figures. This wave will probably be going up for pre-order fairly soon. It's already started to go up for pre-order overseas. And just to recap, this wave is going to include figures of Ken, the Haslam, which is probably the one I'm most interested in, and then Bison. So these will eventually be available for pre-order at places like our sponsors Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. That's where you can get the Wave 1 figures with the Ken, Chun-Li, or I should say Ryu, Chun-Li, and Fei Long. And again, the second wave has already started to go up for pre-order at places overseas, and I'm expecting them to go up fairly soon, probably by next month. Next up, I've got some new McFarlane news to share with you. So on Friday, I told you about a new Entertainment Earth DC Multiverse exclusive figure that would be going up for pre-order on June 15th with the glow-in-the-dark, or black lights, I think is what they're calling it, Scarecrow figure. And later in the day, after I'd posted Friday's video, they actually announced a second Entertainment Earth exclusive DC Multiverse figure, which will be a blacklight version of the Joker. So again, you can expect both of those figures available only at Entertainment Earth to go up for pre-order at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on June 15th. So that would be a Thursday. And then going up for pre-order today, and last time I checked it was still available, is that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive limited black and white accent edition Superman figure. I told you about this last week. This is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. It is limited to 3,000 pieces. The cost of it is $29.99, and it is supposed to start shipping later this month, so not a huge pre-order window on this one. You should, if you decide to add it to your collection, you should have it in hand fairly soon. And then finally on Saturday, McFarlane Toys released a couple of preview images for upcoming DC Multiverse figures. Both of these are mega figures. Both of these, I might add, are figures that we have seen, we had seen a while ago leak out on overseas retail listings. So 2 figures that are now officially confirmed. So the first one is the Crisis on Infinite Earths Anti-Monitor figure, which, to me overall looks pretty good. And then the second figure is the Justice Buster. So Mattel did a Build-A-Figure of this one several years ago, and I can't say I was overly impressed with it. Not that it really didn't look like it did in the comics. This is just not a favorite design of mine. But this one, which is said to be based on Batman Endgame, actually it looks a little, I like it, the look of it a little bit better than the Mattel version. I don't know if I'm going to add this one to my collection, but if you're a fan of the Justice Buster, this is one that you might want to check out. Now, all we have at this time are these preview images. No word yet on when these will be made available for pre-order or anything like that, but probably fairly soon. Mondo has released a teaser image for a new 1/6 scale Skeletor figure for their Masters of the Universe line, Skeletor version 2. So again, all we have right now is just this preview image, but if you've missed out on their previous Skeletor figures, you're going to get another shot at one, and when more details become available on this, I'll be sure to let you guys know. For you Marvel Legend fans, the only thing I have for you today is just to let you know that the next Target exclusive figure that will be going up for pre-order this coming Thursday, which again is going to be June 15th, will be that Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch figure. So you may recall Hasbro actually released images for this one back in April. So, and they did say it was going to be a Target store exclusive. I actually had forgotten about this one, but again, it will be going up for pre-order this coming Thursday. As I mentioned last week, Hasbro's Dan Young had mentioned that there was making it sound like there was going to be pre-order Marvel Legend Target exclusive pre-orders every Thursday this month. Or at least more than one. Last week we got the Black Widow. This week again we're getting the Scarlet Witch. I assume there might be at least one more, but I won't say 100%. But again, Scarlet Witch is definitely going up for pre-order this week. If this is one that you've been wanting to add to your collection, again, it is based on the Multiverse of Madness, unlike the last one, which was based on her appearance in the WandaVision series. So very similar, but yet different. And if you're a huge Scarlet Witch fan, this might be one that you want to check out. For you G.I. Joe fans, just the latest update on the HasLab Dragonfly campaign. So as I'm filming this today, the campaign has not yet reached 13,000 backers to unlock the first stretch goal for the Night Force Ripcord figure. Last week, in just over 24 hours, it did reach its minimum goal of 10,000 backers, so that the Dragonfly, along with the Wild Bill figure, would definitely be moving into production. But since then, things have slowed down. Right now we are just under 500 to go before we get to the 13,000. It is sitting at 12,555 backers. I don't think there's much doubt that, it will get to the 13,000 to include the ripcord. This thing still has over a month to go before the campaign ends. It ends on July 17th. So I don't think there's any doubt that Ripcord will end up being included. But as slow as it is going now, and I'm guessing it's probably going to take a good chunk of this week before we get to the 13,000, unless something changes, it does remain a little bit uncertain on whether or not we will get to the other two stretch goals, which stretch goal number 2 will be unlocked when it gets to 16,000 backers, and we probably will not see what that is until we get to unlock stretch goal number 1. And then stretch goal number 3 will be unlocked if it gets to 19,000 backers. So I think whether it gets to those numbers, 16 and 19,000 backers, will depend greatly on how well received the stretch goals are. I am very hopeful that one of the two stretch goals will be for an airborne figure. I really have no idea what the third stretch goal could be, and whether airborne or any other figure would be enough to really entice that many more people to back it. I don't know. Originally I was thinking by now we would have already unlocked the stretch goal, the first stretch goal at 13,000, but it really slowed down over the weekend, and right now it is moving very slowly. So, but when it is unlocked, we'll be sure to update on TNI and find out what the second stretch goal is. And of course, I'll be talking about that in a future video, I'm sure. Okay, now switching gears a little bit to a different action figure military line, let's talk a little bit about Valaverse and Action Force. So this weekend was the Joefest convention in Augusta, Georgia, and even though there was no GIJoe news from this convention, Bobby Vala was there, and he did have a panel where he announced some new products for Action Force. He also announced a new IP for his company. He's going to be doing figures for a movie called Legend of the White Dragon, which was a crowd-funded movie that is going to star the late Jason David Frank, who sadly passed away a few months ago, I think now. But he filmed this movie before he passed away. Again, it was a crowdfunding movie. He's from Power Rangers. He played the White Ranger in Power Rangers, and obviously this movie is kind of playing off of that. So the two figures that were announced for this line, again, these are 6-inch figures, very similar construction to Vala's Action Force line, is the character's Dragon, who is the character Jason David Frank played, and then Dragon Prime, which I guess is the movie's bad guy. I'm not too familiar with any of this. It's not something I was tracking, but until this announcement came for the action figures. But again, Valaverse will be doing figures for Legends of the White Dragon. These should be going up for pre-order at a later time this year, and I would imagine will be similarly priced to the Action Force line. Now, as far as Action Force goes, first of all, Vala gave some updated information and looks at his first 1/12 scale vehicle called the Vanguard. This is something that he had been teasing for a little while now. So the vehicle, according to him, will price, he doesn't have an exact price yet, but will be in the price range of $175 to $190, and he's really hyping the fact that, his vehicle, his 6-inch scale vehicle, is cheaper than like the Hasbro stuff that we see on HasLab. So that was something he was definitely touting. The vehicle will come with one driver figure, one 6-inch Action Force driver figure. You'll get things like opening doors. The front wheels will work, meaning I think you can turn the steering wheel and the wheels will turn. It's got a working winch in the front. It's got a removable hatch, opening trunk. It'll come with a shovel, 2 gas tanks, a gun control arm, flashes for the guns, a twin gun turret. You're also going to get a tow hook, and the vehicle is said to be about 20 inches long. Now, he's undecided on the exact color. He looks like it's a toss-up either between green or desert tan, and he said he was leaning towards the desert tan, though honestly I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up doing both colors, but that's yet to be determined. And as far as availability, look for this to be made available, I assume, for pre-order later this year, probably on the Valaverse website. Now, he also announced that he will be attending PowerCon this year, and he will be offering a PowerCon Action Force exclusive that has a little bit of a Masters of the Universe tie-in, a tribute, we shall say. It is called the Swarm Horde figure, and it is a tribute to, Hordak and his Horde. So, again, this is an Action Force figure. It is being listed as a PowerCon exclusive, which will be taking place in early August in Columbus, Ohio. However, if you're not going to be attending the convention, Vala did say that he would be making the figure available online in some way at some time for those who aren't actually going to the convention. So, again, it is technically, though, listed as a PowerCon exclusive. Now, one other thing, and there's a full video of the panel that I will put a link to down in the video description below. So he gave us better looks at upcoming Action Force figures and such with Wave 4. But I also just wanted to let you know that he also touted a price decrease as opposed to a price increase on his action figures. And basically he said as the line has grown in popularity and he's able to start producing more figures, he gets bigger discounts at the factories, and essentially he's passing those discounts on to you. And once again, of course, he made sure to kind of poke some fun at other toy companies and their rising prices as opposed to him lowering prices. But anyway, just to go down the list, the basic action figure or Action Force figures will now cost $19.99 as opposed to $21.99. The weapons packs will now cost $11.99, and then deluxe figures will now cost $29.99. And these price decreases should take effect starting with Wave 4 of their Action Force line. And then finally for today, I just had a couple of bits of news I wanted to share with you that aren't technically about action figures, but somewhat action figure related. So first of all, I just had an update on a story I told you about on Friday. It's in regards to the the G.I. Joe and Transformers comic book license. I had told you on Friday how the Robert Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment through Image Comics would be starting to do G.I. Joe and Transformer comics this year. IDW lost the license or gave up the license, I'm not sure which, but at the end of last year. And Robert Kirkman is essentially taking things over. These will be released through Image Comics. Again, as I told you on Friday, things would be kicking off with a limited series called Void Rivals, and that first issue should be out later this month at comic book shops. But now we have some additional details of what we can expect to see afterwards. So this new shared universe is being called the Energon universe, I guess, which is a shared universe between G.I. Joe and Transformers. And, I think you're going to see that more and more with these two properties. Especially if you saw the latest Transformers movie that came out this past weekend. But this specifically is comic related. And again, it looks like this new shared universe is being called the Energon universe. So this flyer that ended up going out on social media, advertising the Void Rivals and kind of giving you a heads up on what's to come after that. So we can see there's going to be a new Transformers 1 series that will launch in October. So after the Void Rivals miniseries, we will get an ongoing Transformers series. And then for G.I. Joe, it looks like at least starting off, we're going to get a Duke series and a Cobra Commander series. And I'm thinking those are probably going to be like limited series, not like just regular ongoing series, but I don't know that for sure. But the Duke series launches in December and the Cobra Commander series launches in January of next year. I'm guessing we're going to get like these will tell origins of both Cobra and G.I. Joe. And then I would think that those would then lead into just a regular ongoing G.I. Joe series, or at least, they'll probably do more than one series for each property, as we usually see happen. And I also will tell you that Larry Hama, who of course has been working on G.I. Joe comics since the original Marvel run, will be continuing to work on G.I. Joe through the Kirkman Entertainment Studio and Image Comics. So if you're a fan of Hama's work, he will continue to be working on G.I. Joe. I don't know if he's going to, like before, like through IDW, he essentially had his own series that really continued the stories from the Marvel run that was separate from everything else that IDW did. I don't know if we're going to see something like that here. I don't have those specific details, but that would be my guess, but I won't say that 100%. And then speaking of that Transformers Rise of the Beasts movie, which again opened up this weekend in theaters, I have not yet seen it. I did not go to the theater. I'll wait till it comes out on home release. The trailer just did not, as I've said many times, I was a fan of the very first Michael Bay Transformer movie, but I really have not liked any of the other Transformer movies that came out since. And while there wasn't anything that looked horrible in the trailers, there wasn't anything that said to me this is like going to be really different from what we've seen before. So I have heard, somewhat positive reviews. I've heard some bad reviews too, but I have heard some positive things about the movie. But again, I'm going to wait till it comes out on home release. But for those of you who went to the movie theater to see it this weekend, you might have seen this at the concession stand. It is a new Optimus Prime popcorn vessel, which is also available online. This is being offered at AMC theaters, but they're also selling it online on their website. So essentially you can put popcorn in the back trailer, and then I believe the front cab is supposed to hold soda. I think the exhaust pipes are straws, I think. I don't know how well you can clean this thing. That's really one of my concerns. There's also an Optimus Prime head with light up eyes that holds popcorn that they were selling. But this one's actually cooler to me just as far as looks. Now, I've debated whether I want to get this, not as a collectible, but to actually hold popcorn. But again, I don't know. The biggest holdup here is the price. I don't know if it's selling for the same price if you actually go to the theater, if you maybe get a discount, if you actually buy popcorn and Coke to go in it or what, I don't know. But online, at least, it's going to cost you $50. So that's a pretty expensive popcorn holder. But I definitely, because I watch a lot of movies at home, and when I do, I actually make popcorn. I have a popcorn maker, and so something cool to hold my popcorn in like this is somewhat appealing. But again, for $50, I'm not so sure. Things like these, you would get, when you would go to movies and stuff and they were just like cool little collectibles, but they didn't cost that much money. It's like, what's next? Or McDonald's Happy Meals going to be $50? I mean, I don't know. But it is cool looking. I just don't know if it's $50 cool. But, if it's something you're interested in and you're not going to go to the movies or not going to an AMC theater, then you can go online and pick this one up if you want to. And then one final note for you. So this evening, I am going to the movie theaters. I'm going to see an advanced screening of the new Flash movie, which comes out this coming weekend. And you can expect a non-spoiler review likely to be up here on my channel tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this, not for the Flash himself, unfortunately, but to see Michael Keaton Batman, which is my favorite on-screen Batman and really got me into DC Comics and stuff back in the day, back in 1989. I was reading Marvel stuff, but I really hadn't gotten into DC, and then I went to see that first Batman movie. So that first Batman movie with Michael Keaton will always have a nostalgia place in my heart. I don't know how good this movie is going to be. Again, I've been seeing kind of mixed reviews. But you can expect to hear my thoughts, non-spoiler thoughts about it tomorrow. So hopefully you will tune in for that. And that's it for today. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. Like this video if you're so inclined. And if you're new to this channel, please think about subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And if you found the news in this video to be useful and you think your fellow collectors will find it useful, please feel free to share this video on whatever social media platforms that you tend to hang out. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.